In this video, I'll show you how to properly set up and install the remote pressure switch version of the Nightstick TWM Weapon Mounted Light onto your long gun. Before I get started, a quick word about safety. Please be sure to read, understand, and follow all of the safety instructions for your firearm. And as always, double check to make sure that your firearm is in a safe and unloaded condition before doing any kind of work on it. As you can see, I have no firearms on the table today. Instead, I'm going to be installing the light and RPS onto a handguard. Let's take a quick look at the contents that come with your new Nightstick TWM 354 or 854 XL. Included in the box, you'll find the light, the remote pressure switch, the Picatnny mount for use with the pressure switch, the two-part Velcro pad with the pressure-sensitive adhesive strips, the alcohol prep pad, 2 CR123 batteries, 2 crossrail inserts pre-installed at the factory, as well as 4 crossrail insert cap head screws that are also already installed, and an Allen wrench. There's also a printed version of the Quick Start Guide. A full instruction manual with step-by-step instructions and photographs is available on the Nightstick website if you should need it. The first step is to install the batteries. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, undo the battery door retention screw. Then insert batteries into the light, making sure that they're oriented according to the battery orientation symbols on the side of the light. Now press the battery door back into place and tighten the screw. This screw needs to be tightened only to the point of being snug. No need to over-tighten. With the TWM in one hand and the RPS cable in the other, insert the connector of the RPS cable into the mating connector on the battery door until it's fully seated. Now simply screw the threaded coupling ring on the end of the RPS cable onto the external threads of the TWM battery door in a clockwise direction by hand until it's fully tightened. This should only be tightened by hand. No tools are necessary. Your TWM comes with both crossrail inserts pre-installed in crossrail slots 1 and 4. If the location of one or both of these is not correct for your specific installation, you'll need to remove either or both of the inserts and then install them in a slot location that works better for your installation. A single crossrail insert can be installed in any of the 4 slot locations. However, using 2 inserts will increase the retention of the light onto the firearm. With that being said, slots 1, 3, and 4 are set up at a mil standard 1913 spacing, so you can use any combination of those 3 slots if you wish to install 2 inserts. If you decide you want to change the location of one or both of the inserts, the process is very simple. All you have to do is remove the crossrail insert cap head screws, reposition the crossrail insert, and reinstall the screws using the included Allen wrench. When you finish moving these around as needed, just remember to fully tighten these screws, but don't over-tighten. The best way to tell that you have them tightened correctly is to let the Allen wrench tell you. When you see the long side of the Allen wrench start to flex, you're done. And here's a quick maintenance tip. Just like anything else mounted onto a firearm, it's a good idea to check these screws for tightness from time to time. The next step is to install the TWM onto the Picatnny Rail. While holding the handguard in my left hand and the TWM in my right, I'll push in on the rail clamp tension thumb screw to fully open the movable portion of the rail clamp. Then I'll place the movable portion of the rail clamp into the underside groove of the Picatnny rail and align the crossrail inserts with the slot on the rail. Next, I'll rotate the TWM onto the rail and release the pressure of the rail clamp tension thumb screw, making sure that the crossrail inserts are fully seated into the slots on the rail. While holding the handguard and light in place in one hand, I'll start to tighten the cross tension screw with my thumb and index finger. I'll continue doing this until it becomes a little too difficult to turn by hand, and then using a quarter at this point will allow me to completely tighten the light onto the rail. As I mentioned earlier, it's always a good idea to periodically check to make sure that this screw remains tight as well. The RPS pressure pad switch can be attached to your firearm using at least 3 basic methods. using the included NS Pick 1, which allows you to attach the pressure pad switch to a section of Picatnny Rail. Using the two-part Velcro pad makes it possible to adhere the switch to any smooth, clean area on your firearm. And finally, installing the pressure pad switch into a third-party vertical foregrip. Let's take a brief look at each option. The NS Pick 1 allows the user to mount the RPS pressure pad switch to any section of Picatnny Rail. Begin by fitting the NS Pick 1 over the section of Picatnny Rail where you want the RPS Remote Pressure Pad switch to be located. Flexing the rail grabbers a little if needed will make the installation a little simpler. Basically, the installation is similar to installing rail covers. Once the NS Pick 1 is installed, insert the RPS pressure pad switch into the upper molded profile of the NS Pick 1 until fully seated. The included Velcro pads come with 2 strips of pressure-sensitive adhesive already attached that allow the RPS pressure pad switch to be adhered to any clean, smooth surface of your firearm. Prior to installation, be sure to use the included alcohol prep pad to completely clean the application surfaces of the firearm and the back of the RPS pressure pad switch. Once the residual alcohol is fully dried, remove the backing strips from one side of the PSA and attach it to the back of the RPS pressure pad switch. Then, repeat that same process to attach the RPS Velcro strip assembly onto your firearm. Next, you'll want to apply even pressure and then allow the PSA tape to cure for approximately 24 hours for best adhesion. The hook and loop portions of the Velcro can be separated in order to facilitate temporary removal of the RPS pressure pad switch from the firearm. Various aftermarket manufacturers make vertical foregrips that the Nightstick RPS pressure pad switch will fit into. As an example, the Tango Down vertical foregrips allow the RPS pressure pad switch to slide perfectly into the molded slot of their grip. And of course, any other manufacturer's vertical foregrip that has this same profile would work with the RPS pressure pad switch as well. Well, that's it. Your new Nightstick weapon-mounted light with the remote pressure switch is ready to go. If you have any questions or if we can be of any assistance, please go to our website at www.nightstick.com or contact our customer service department at 800-233-2155. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.